Assalamu alaikum. This is Protusha Burwa welcoming you all to the English news from Btv-Chattogram. Let's begin with the headlines. Results of HSC and equivalent exams published with 58.83% pass rate. The results surprised everyone, comments education advisor. Firefighters and defense force members fighting to control massive fire broke out at government factory in Chattogram Export Processing Zone. Sheikh Hasina deserves highest punishment as key instigator behind July-August killings, says Chief Prosecutor. NCP convener calls upon government to give July Charter legal framework and present its outline. Notun Kore participants to become idols in cultural arena and build new Bangladesh, says Information and Broadcasting Advisor. Out of 26 post candidates of Sampriti Shikharti Jot, elected to 24 including VP and GS in Chakshu elections. Israeli military identifies 2 bodies returned by Hamas. And Bangladesh facing Australia in International Women's World Cup in Visakhapatnam. Viewers, those were the headlines, and moving on to the details. Results of Higher Secondary Certificate HSC and Equivalent Examinations 2025 have been published today with 58.83% pass rate. A total of 7,26,960 students passed under 9 general education boards, the Madrasa Education Board and Technical Education Board. The overall pass rate stands at 58.83%, while 69,097 students achieved a GPA 5. The results were released simultaneously by all education boards at 10 in the morning today. Dhaka Education Board Chairman and Inter-Education Board Coordination Committee Chairman Professor Dr. Khandokar Ismail Kobir announced the results centrally at Dhaka Education Board. This year, a total of 12,35,661 students participated in the examinations under the 9 general education boards, the Bangladesh Madrasa Education Board and the Bangladesh Technical Education Board. Among them, 6,11,446 were male students, of whom 3,33,864 passed, marking a pass rate of 54.60%. A total of 32,053 male students obtained GPA 5. There were 6,24,215 female students participated in this year's examination and 3,93,096 of them passed, achieving a pass rate of 60.97%. A total of 37,044 female students secured GPA 5. Overall, 59,232 more female students passed than female students and 4,991 more female students achieved GPA 5 compared to their male counterparts. At 8 overseas examination centers, 291 students took part, while 279 passing, resulting in a pass rate of 95.88%. Under the 9 general education boards, 10,47,242 students appeared and 5,98,166 passed, with a pass rate of 57.12%. Among them, 63,219 students earned GPA 5. A total of 62,609 students passed the examinations under Madrasa Education Board with pass rate of 75.61%, while 4,268 students obtaining GPA 5. The Technical Education Board had 1,05,610 candidates, of whom 66,185 passed, showing a pass rate of 60.67%. A total of 1,610 students achieved GPA 5 under this board. A total of 345 educational institutions achieved a 100% pass rate, while 202 institutions had no students passing this year. The HSC and equivalent examinations were held from June 26 to August 19, 2025. Meanwhile, Chattogram Education Board has achieved a pass rate of 52.57% with 6,997 students achieving a GPA 5 in this year's higher secondary certificate and equivalent examinations. Both the overall pass rate and the number of grade point average GPA 5 holders have declined compared to the previous year. Last year, the pass rate stood at 70.32%, while 10,269 students secured GPA 5. This year's figures represent a drop of 17.75 percentage points in the pass rate and a decline of around 4,000 in the number of GPA 5 achievers. This year, a total of 102,970 students sat for the examinations, of whom 53,560 students passed the HSC and equivalent examinations, which were held from June 26 to August 19. Chattogram Education Board Controller of Examinations Parvez Sajjad Chaudhary disclosed the statistics at a press briefing held at the board auditorium this afternoon. Chattogram Education Board Chairman Ilyas Uddin Ahmed, Secretary AKM Shamsuddin Azad, and other officials were present at the briefing. This year's HSC and equivalent examination results have surprised everyone. Education Advisor Professor Chaudhary Rafiqul Abrar said, "The true crisis in the education sector had long been masked by attempts to showcase better results." He made the remarks at a press conference today held at the Secretariat marking the disclosure of HSC 2025 results. The Education Advisor said both the pass rate and the number of GPA 5 achievers decreased this year. The advisor said the HSC results were weaker this year due to a drop in the pass rate and the number of GPA 5 achievers. The issue would be reviewed with experts next week, he added. A massive fire broke out at the warehouse of a government factory in the Chattogram Export Processing Zone CEPZ area. The fire started around 2 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. today. The blaze reportedly started on the 7th floor of 9-story building and subsequently spread to the 6th and 5th floors. 15 firefighting units from the Fire Service and Civil Defense, along with a unit from the Bangladesh Navy, rushed to the spot and are working to bring the fire under control. Deputy Director of Chattogram Fire Service and Civil Defense Joshim Uddin said, "The fire spread rapidly because of the highly flammable materials stored inside. Firefighters are facing difficulties in bringing the blaze under control." According to EPZ authorities, the fire originated in the warehouse of Adams Caps on the 7th floor of the building around noon. All employees were reportedly safely evacuated. There have been no reports of casualties or injuries. The cause and the extent of the damage are still under investigation.
প্রত্যেকটা বিল্ডিং এর একটা টেম্পারেচার একটা ক্যাপাসিটি আছে, এটার এত তীব্রতা এত হিট, এটা যেখানে আগুনের গ্লাস রয়েছে এই গ্লাসগুলো কেমিক্যালে বিভিন্ন সেকশনে চলে যাচ্ছে, আবার যেখানে আপনার এক্সপ্লোশন হচ্ছে ওইখান থেকে আবার এই আগুনটা আবার ছড়িয়ে পড়ছে, যার কারণে বিল্ডিংয়ের টেম্পারেচার যেহেতু আস্তে আস্তে কমে আছে, আমাদের ধারণা যে কোনো মুহূর্তে এই বিল্ডিংটা ক্লস হতে পারে, যার কারণে আমরা নিরাপদ দূরে থেকে আমরা কাজ করছি। আমাদের টিমটা আমরা কন্টিনিউ একটার পর একটা টিম আমরা চেঞ্জ করছি আনছি। এখন আমাদের কাজটা হলো যে কি পুরো টিম যাতে এই বিল্ডিংটার ভিতরে আমার আগুনটাকে কন্ট্রোল করা, এই বিল্ডিংয়ের বাইরে যাতে আরও কয়েকটা ফ্যাক্টরিতে যাতে না ছড়িয়ে পড়া, এই জন্য আমরা চতুর্দিকে আমাদের লোকজনকে ইয়ে করে রেখেছি। মালিক পক্ষ থেকে আমরা যতটুকু বললাম, আমরা 6 তলা এবং 7 তলা থেকে আমরা যে লোকগুলো আটকা ছিল ধুয়াতে ফায়ার সার্ভিস রেস্কিউ করে নিরাপদে নিয়ে আসছে। 8 তলার মধ্যে তাদের লোক ছিল কিনা তাদের ম্যানেজমেন্টের সাথে কথা বলেছি, তারা বলেছিল 8 তলাতে নেই। যেহেতু 5 তলা পর্যন্ত আমরা উঠতে সক্ষম হয়েছি, কিন্তু আগুন চতুর্দিকে যখন ছড়িয়ে পড়েছে সেখানে দাঁড়ানো আমাদের সম্ভব ছিল না, বিধায় আমরা নিরাপদে নিচে চলে আসছি। যার কারণে আগুন এখনও পর্যন্ত এই বিল্ডিং ভবনের নিচের তলা থেকে উপরতলা পর্যন্ত এখনও কন্টিনিউ চলছে। হতাহত এখন নিহত এই পর্যন্ত নেই আমাদের জানা মতো। ধন্যবাদ।
Chief Prosecutor Mohammad Tajul Islam said Sheikh Hasina was the key instigator behind the July-August killings and therefore she deserves the highest punishment. He made the remarks while briefing journalists after concluding the state's closing arguments in the war crimes case filed over the crimes against humanity bill during the July movement against Sheikh Hasina and 2 others. The arguments began this morning at International Crimes Tribunal 1, led by Justice Ghulam Murtuza Mujumdar and comprising 3 members. On the final day, Chief Prosecutor Mohammad Tajul Islam presented arguments on behalf of the state. He said, had members of the army not stood at shields between the police and protesters during the July movement, many more lives would have been lost. At the hearing, the Chief Prosecutor presented arguments supporting 3 out of the 5 charges brought against Sheikh Hasina. He also cited testimonies of several witnesses among the 54 recorded over 28 working days, along with details of killings and acts of torture committed during the July movement. In addition, several articles of the Geneva Convention and international verdicts on mass killings were submitted as references before the tribunal. Following the prosecution, state-appointed defense lawyers will present arguments in favor of Sheikh Hasina, after which the prosecution will have the opportunity to rebut. Once arguments conclude, the case will move toward the verdict stage. Earlier on October 8, the 54th and final witness testimony was recorded, marking the end of the 28 working day hearing, with the investigating officer Mohammad Alamgir being cross-examined. Besides Sheikh Hasina, the 2 other accused in this case are former Home Minister Asaduzzam Komul and former IGP Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun, who is now a prosecution witness in this case. Meanwhile, the International Crimes Tribunal 2, headed by Justice Nojul Islam Chaudhry, has set October 20 for the next witness hearing in the Australia Sauer case concerning the burning of 6 bodies and 7 murders during the July movement. The order came today after the 12th day of witness examination in the tribunal. NCP convener Nahid Islam called upon the government to give the July Charter a legal framework and present its outline before the countrymen. He made the call at a press conference today held at the NCP central office in the capital, focusing on the implementation of the July Charter and recent political developments. NCP member Secretary Akhtar Hussain and other central leaders were also present at the press conference. Nahid Islam said, the government must clearly explain what the outline of the July Charter will be and how it will be implemented. Otherwise, it may lead to disagreements and divisions in the political arena of the future. Information and Broadcasting Advisor Mohammad Mahfouz Alam hoped that the participants of Notun Kuri will later become idols in the country's cultural arena and make positive contributions to building a new Bangladesh. He said the popular program was relaunched to provide the younger generation with opportunities to develop and showcase their talents. The advisor shared these remarks in a special interview with Bangladesh Television about its popular show Notun Kuri 2025. Notun Kuri, one of the BTV's most popular programs, is a talent hunt competition for children and teenagers. After the regional and divisional rounds, the final selection phase is now underway. Participants are being selected through a transparent and participatory process at every stage. The results of the Chittagong University Central Students' Union Chakshu elections have been announced. Out of the 26 posts, candidates from Rashampriti Shikharti Jot have been elected to 24 posts, including Vice President VP and General Secretary GS. The Election Commission announced the results of the 7th Chakshu elections today. Muhammad Ibrahim Hussain of the Shampriti Shikharti Jot was elected to the post of VP by getting 7,983 votes. He is an MPhil student in the History Department. His nearest rival Sajjad Hussain of Chhatrodal got 4,374 votes. Said bin Habib of the Shampriti Shikharti Jot was elected to the post of GS by getting 8,031 votes. He is a postgraduate student in the History Department. His nearest rival Muhammad Shafat of Chhatrodal got 2,724 votes. Aibur Rahman of Chhatrodal was elected to the post of Assistant General Secretary AGS. He got 7,014 votes. His nearest rival Sajjad Hussain of the Shampriti Shikharti Jot received 5,045 votes. While announcing the results, Chief Election Commissioner Professor Munir Uddin said the election was competitive and held in a peaceful atmosphere. Candidates and voters participated in the vote in an exceptionally festive mood. Now, international news. Israeli military formally identified two bodies returned by Hamas on Wednesday night as Invar Hayman and Israeli soldier Mohammed El-Atrash. Palestinian group Hamas admitted that it would need specialized equipment and assistance to locate bodies still buried beneath the rubble. Israel threatens to derail the truce if Hamas doesn't return all their deceased captives. An Israeli government agency said the opening of the Raater crossing between Gaza and Egypt will continue to be delayed. Meanwhile, 2 people have been killed in Israeli attacks in Palestine despite the ongoing ceasefire. 1 person was killed after a bomb was dropped by an Israeli drone this morning in the Bani Suhaila area of Khan Younis. The other died due to the wounds after being shot by 2 days late earlier near Gaza City's College of Science and Technology. Israel's war on Gaza has killed at least 67,938 people and wounded 170,169 since October 7, 2023. Pakistan and Afghanistan implemented a ceasefire following the deadliest border clashes in years that killed dozens of people and led to evacuations on both sides. The 48-hour truce began Wednesday at 6 in the afternoon Islamabad time, with each country claiming the other requested the pause in hostilities. Pakistan confirmed the ceasefire duration, stating, "During this period, both sides will sincerely strive to find a positive solution to this complex but resolvable issue through constructive dialogue." In Kabul, the Taliban government directed its forces to respect the truce unless it is violated by Pakistan. This temporary cessation follows a week of escalating violence. The Taliban had initiated offensives along the southern Pakistani border, prompting Islamabad to threaten decisive retaliation. Pakistan has consistently accused Afghanistan of sheltering Pakistani Taliban fighters, claims that Kabul rejects. As tensions peaked, 2 explosions in Kabul on Wednesday evening sent black smoke rising above the city. Taliban spokesman Zabihullah Mujahid attributed this to an oil tanker and generator explosion without linking them to the border conflict. Earlier on Wednesday, Pakistan's military reported that Afghan Taliban fighters assaulted 2 major border posts in the southwest and northwest. It claimed both attacks were successfully repelled, with approximately 20 Taliban fighters killed near Spin Boldak in Afghanistan's Kandahar province.